Hi everyone and welcome back. So before going to the advanced concepts of Svelte JS, I wanted to cover a couple of more examples and then we will talk about advanced examples about Svelte JS that covers the routing and using stores and all those things. So what in this example we are going to do is let's play with the simple example, and here we are going to write a simple Pokemon store, Pokemon search you can say. Okay, so this is our script and we are going to write a simple form where we will have a simple input text field using which we want to just search uh, Pokemon. Okay, so it's kind of a input submit form. We can have some classes. We are already using Tailwind, so I can use some classes there. Padding 4, and this is actually a form, so it will have a on submit, and on the on submit we are going to make an API call, because on submit we are going to search for the Pokemon which you have entered inside a form, and here we are going to just make an API call. For that we have the URL. Okay, so inside the form we have simply divs, we have a label, input text field and one button. So this label has a class. We can add the Tailwind classes later. Text Excel, and this is like enter name of Pokemon, and then we have input simple input text field, and we can add some classes, Tailwind classes, which is okay. Background should be gray, 100. There we need a border should be gray, and what should be the text color. So all these classes you can add. Text should be gray 900. Text should be small. It should be rounded. Okay, these many classes, you can add a number of classes. These Tailwind is a utility that can help you to add classes. Okay, and then you have a simple button. You can close this or we can simply have one button. There we can just talk about submit. So this is input simple button which has its classes, and it is just a simple search button. Okay, and this input text field has a bind. Okay, let me just put a line break with search term, because whatever you are going to type you should be able to capture it. So we can actually bind this with one variable. Search term is an empty, and from this API call we are going to pass the data. And then we have other attributes also. Is loading, like whenever there is a loading we wanted to show some kind of a simple animation onto the button. Is loading is initially false. Now we are going to make API call and we will say okay, once the API call starts we want to start loading, and we can just set the length width full. This button also we can say width full. So you can see if you are not using flags properly things will go wrong. So here we need to use that is fine, that is just a warning. And now whatever the you are entering, we are able to capture that inside a search term. Now what we need to do is we need to make an API call. So we can simply do it with the fetch, whatever we are going to make the API call, and we can just set is loading false if there is any error, and we will just set is error. Initially we have the Pokemon data null, then we will set is loading true whenever there is an API call is going on. Just a simple calculation. Is loading is now true, and we will just make the API call. Const result equal to await fetch. We can make it as async function. Await fetch, and there is an API call. We already have a URL in our hand, and we need to pass the search term for which we are looking. Const data await response.json, and we finally get the data, and we can set Pokemon with this data, and is loading is now false. Okay, so now when you are entering anything inside this text field and do this form submit, it is going to make the API call. Here we can also add prevent default. I mean, these are DOM event modifiers which you can add to avoid page reload while you submit the form. Okay, so now you enter the Pokemon, click on search, we make the API call, and this is the API URL. This search term we are already tracking, and this Pokemon object we are assigning. Now we just need to play with the conditionals. Okay, if we got the Pokemon, then show this. If Pokemon is null, then show that. If there is a loading, then show this. So we can just use these conditionals which is provided. Let's say if is loading, then you can simply show some kind of a text like, okay, if you got any error, then show that, and if you got everything good, then we will render the Pokemon image. If there is an error, then that means Pokemon is not found. We can simply say not able to find Pokemon, search with other name or whatever you want. So is error is already a flag we have. We also need to add it here. Currently there is no error, but there may be error. So initially this error is false, but his error will be true if your API call is going into the catch block. Okay, now we can design a simple card-like layout because we might be receiving the image of the Pokemon and the text about it. So here we can just add another conditional. Let's say if Pokemon, that means if we got the Pokemon object, then we will just show it. So for that we can just use the card component, and here, I mean, when we are writing Tailwind, there are a lot of classes we need to add that somewhat I don't like, but there is no way. Width full, padding vertical full, let's say background we can say white, and this is rounded, shadow also by 20. Inside this we can create a simple card like component. I will just copy the Tailwind template, which is a flex layout. So here we will replace the image which we are getting. So we are getting the image and then Pokemon name. Here we can just add the Pokemon name. This is just like, okay, access it from the object. Very basic example. We may or may not need this. You can also extract the Pokemon description and try to show it here. Now let's say I'm doing it for Pikachu. Okay, somewhat it is coming. We can make it a little better. So what we are doing is, I think the background is not getting set properly. Okay, this is how it is working, because it is making API call and then we are just playing with these conditionals, which is very basic. If we talk about any other framework, this is also the same way we will do it. We will update the state, and then for the updated state they will re-render. So here this is being done in a different reactivity, in different way of reactivity, but it's kind of simple. Concept is kind of simple and same. Okay, same way we can also talk about a couple of more examples to understand the code syntax, and then we will just go with the routing, understanding the store and some more advanced stuff in Svelte JS.